Okay, boys, let's get started.
All right, you want me to count it down?
I did last time.
Who's doing the intro? Yeah, okay. Chris, you want to do the intro down?
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Louder Than Podcast. Today is March 8th. We are going to bring you 3 subjects tonight. I think we have a follow-up to kick things off, so let's trigger our trump card right away. Eric, start us off.
I see what you did there.
I can't fucking trust you, dude.
Why would you trust me? You know me.
He has a point here. So we're doing a follow-up on the whole Trump gaming gun thing going on right now. We have an updated list of who's going to be in the meeting. Wait, did the meeting already happen?
I believe it was this morning.
Okay, well, the meeting already happened,
this morning.
and we have a list of people who were there. Chris, would you like to read this list for
Well,
us?
explain what the meeting is, just because, for consistency.
Right. So, Chris, you have the article in front of you?
Yep, I have the article in front of me.
You want to give a brief run-through?
Okay, do you just want the list or, like, synopsis?
I'll get a quick synopsis.
Yeah, synopsis.
Okay, so the long and short version is that we're basically having a rerun of the 2016 Joe Biden meeting, where we have members of both pro and anti-gaming establishment speaking to the matter of violence in the United States. In this case, we specifically have the ESA, the ESRB, and multiple companies, not just the regulatory entities, but the actual manufacturers. And at this point, should I just do the list?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, we have 3 members of Congress that were attending the meeting: Senator Marco Rubio, Representative Vicky Hartzler, Representative Martha Roby. Roby or Robbie, I can't. It's an Alabama name, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think it's Robbie. I could be completely wrong.
And now for the external participants, which I think people are going to be more interested in, we have Mr. Strauss Zelnick from Take-Two. He was the former chairman of the ESA. The CEO of Rockstar Games, Mr. Brent Bozell, from the Research Center. And we have Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman, a retired colonel. He is an author of On Killing, the Psychological Cost of Learning to Kill in War and Society, and Assassination Generation, Video Games Aggression, and the Psychology of Killing. We have Mr. Pat Vance, president of the Entertainment Software Rating Board, the ESRB. And Mr. Mike Gallagher, president and CEO of the Entertainment Software Association, the ESA. Actually, there's 2 more on here. We have Robert Altman, who is nothing to do with Unitology. Sorry for Dead Space fans. He is the chairman and CEO of ZeniMax Media, the parent company of Bethesda Softworks. And lastly, but not leastly, we have a person whose rank is only mother, Melissa Henson, from the Parents Television Council. Bringing up heavy artillery, huh?
I don't know that, but okay.
I don't mind. I get that, being a parent is a qualifier here, but, when your rank is listed as mother, it's just a little off-putting.
A little humorous.
So, does the article say, the outcome of this meeting, or if it went anywhere?
I've not seen any updates as to the results of the meeting. It doesn't appear as if much has come out of it, other than the video that they showed.
Cool. So, I wanted to have some fun with this, because this is not a fun topic. So, let's try to imagine games. Let's try to imagine games without guns.
Oh, I already did.
I think
You
first.
I want to, So, Chris, are you playing Enter the Gungeon right now?
I turned it off because of the clicking. I'm playing Solitarica right now.
Okay, because that's one of the games I want to bring up. Imagine a game like Enter the Gungeon where they're like, okay, no more guns allowed.
Well, here's the thing is, games like Gungeon, they could get away with it in a game like Gungeon because they already have things like my last run. I had the shot grub, it's just a worm that shoots other worms.
I don't know, that can be dangerous, man.
Yeah,
I feel like that's not the best example because, there's guns that shoot guns, but there's also...
You would remove gun violence in favor of advocating for animal violence?
Oh yeah, I know.
On,
but I mean, they would probably just go really hard on making more weapons like that.
I mean, that was the extreme. I was trying to have fun with the topic, but could you imagine the rework of that game?
Oh, dude, it would be ridiculous trying to
Did
make all
anybody
that
else
shit
here
work.
play Tales from the Borderlands?
Is that the game I played with you? No, never mind. That's we played the
Telltale.
pre-sequel. No, I haven't played Tales from Borderlands. Would you like to talk about it?
I'm just automatically imagining most of the FPS they get hit by this like remove their guns thing as the finger gun scene from Telltale.
Oh my
Where you have
god.
this like Patrick Warburton sounding guy who is supposed to be the main character, and he's surrounded by a bunch of wannabe execs and like just corporate types, and it's just like this vast action sequence bullshit that's all finger guns and going shoo with your mouth.
It's kind of like when 4Kids took over Yu-Gi-Oh, and they had the invisible guns.
And the golden shower head in One Piece.
Wait, what?
Yeah, apparently, like, from what I've heard from multiple people, when 4Kids did One Piece, they kind of replaced a gun to some kid's head with a shower handle, but they made it gold.
Behind One Piece, I'll have to take your word on that.
I think that's even worse. I'm not gonna lie.
Obviously.
Guys, we're
Is
in
it
the
as
wrong
bad as the
channel.
Safari Zone in the old Pokemon cartoon, though?
We're in the off the air channel.
Oh,
It's
but
fine. We'll fix it later. We'll fix it in post. No, you know what? Fine. No, executive decision.
are we getting moved?
All right. There we go.
Put me down!
All fixed.
Oh, we got thrown amongst each other.
But yeah, so they took the opportunity to make it even more offensive.
I respect that. If you're gonna do
Can't all
something
these
bad,
cigarettes turn into lollipops. They have to do
Yeah.
something.
or your mouth just awkwardly open where two cigars used to be.
Yeah. But no, I don't know. I think the meeting is like it's an interesting proposition because you're gonna basically have like irate anti-violence people and like mothers screaming at these people who are like, dude, we're just trying to make a video game. We don't actually want to kill anybody.
I
Yeah.
don't have all the info on these people, but I don't think there's one person on this list under 40. So like these are basically the parents and the grandparents that
Yeah.
are making up the decisions here.
We really should just be going back to medieval only games. Come on, guys. Chivalry was a
That's
great
even
game.
worse.
See, Chivalry was a great game.
No, I'm just saying the medieval era is where we found the most awful ways to harm other human beings.
Well, maybe we should go back to that, and then they'll be like, "Oh, maybe the guns weren't that bad."
Yeah, that's exactly what'll happen, Eric. Good fucking idea.
Is
Yeah.
there a Kingdom Come Deliverance endorsement in there? Or
Or
What?
a what?
Kingdom Come Deliverance, it came out last month.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm sure that's how'll work, right? Not like, oh, let's just ban all games.
God, Eric, honey.
Video games would just be as stupid as a one-time fee for porn.
You are the most robotic person in the world.
Oh,
The robots have come, and their name is Chris.
oh God, is he all right?
Chris?
It's not allowed in them podcasts without Chris having a technical difficulty.
Oh no. He's talking to us from the other dimension.
Is this like Poltergeist, where they're trying to talk to him through the TV?
Honey, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Make one noise. Oh, perfect time for the voice.
Okay, can you hear me now?
No, not at all. Very vaguely. So while you can't talk,
Hear that in post.
so while you
Yeah.
while you can't talk back, we're gonna make fun of the hunter's horn in Monster Hunter. Man, that's such a bad weapon. Who would ever use that? God.
Oh wow, you're a dick.
According to the in-game statistics, exactly 1% of players at most.
Which is only you.
Probably.
And me.
The percentage is just thrown in there to make me feel less lonely.
Yeah.
It's okay. I used Insect Glaive, which was like 7%.
Anyway, yeah, no, it's all like, it's all people who have. Well, I think the problem isn't necessarily their age; it's just their experience. Like they don't play video games.
Is like Donald Trump is looking at this from a view of my grandson plays some of these games. Like,
Yes.
just wrap your head around that.
No, exactly.
Mm.
And like, it doesn't help. It just doesn't.
It's
You
like the
need
orange
people
may
to-
help hide the wrinkles, but it can only do so much. I mean, we're having a grandfather trying to figure out this new age entertainment media.
Yeah, like
well, and like,
I kind of feel
go
like
ahead, Eric.
kind of feel like the idea behind this is just so stupid. Like, I don't think people really could be influenced by games that much. Like, one of the most influential games back in the day was Team Fortress, and you don't see people shooting rockets on their feet to jump higher.
Well, I also think something to keep in mind is like, I mean, this is just like my opinion, but I feel like people our age are the ones that tend to like be the ones to like, you know, act out in these like super violent crimes, and yet the people who are actually like being really influenced by the games are like way younger than us. So it's I guess I don't know if it just sticks with you or
Wait, so you're saying that like they're worrying too much about people who are younger when they should be worrying about more our demographic then?
yeah, kind of, because like the impression that I get is that like the age group that's more heavily influenced by games, or I don't know, like 15, 16, but like people don't go out and buy guns until they're over 18.
Or in some states nowadays, they're trying to push the age up to 21.
Yeah, that too.
Well, the other thing you have to keep in mind though, it's not necessarily just about who's buying them, because plenty of young children have been found to have like smuggle them.
Oh yeah, no, but I think I could be wrong, but I think the Florida person,
No, he legally bought it,
recently.
but I'm just saying in general, it's not really about if you can or cannot legally
Yeah.
buy a gun, you know? It's
But and then it's, you know, it's weird. The whole situation is weird because they're worried about the whole video game influence thing, and the people who are like at the age to go out like with guns and such and commit these crimes are like the video games is like not even a part of that. I feel like
Yeah, it's
Like,
I
not
brought up last
relevant.
time how games aren't even the primary form of like media ingestion or entertainment for the people that are most at risk.
yeah, and well, it's you know, it's like we were saying. Sorry, it's like we were saying about this before that, or at least I was saying that no one's paying attention to these kids who are like, you know, in a lot of distress. They're not paying attention to why they feel the need to do it. They just say, oh, they must have been tempted by a video game, and it's like, no, they're probably like upset about something else.
Yeah, I can't remember where I don't remember where the quote was from, but I saw something to the effect of, so the school will band together to support all these people after tragedy strikes, but you can't even get one classroom of kids to work together to stop people from bullying the loner in the corner.
Yeah.
It's like, this is just not the way that children's psychology works. They are not going to like part from the herd that strongly unless they are the outlier. Like, we need to focus on some way of making sure they want to ensure the well-being of the group and not just their own status within the group.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
And,
unfortunately,
you know,
that's a lot of like, that's a hell of a lot of monitoring and like parental involvement in the child rearing to try and encourage that. I don't
Oh,
see a good way
absolutely.
around it.
But you know, that's what we should be focusing on campaigning, and or at the very least, just not like to keep it on, you know, topic of games. They shouldn't be campaigning against games so much. They should be getting to the root of why, in a society where, like, an unimaginably large amount of people consume media with violence in it, why is only a small part of the population compelled by it?
It's kind of like if you go to a doctor, he diagnoses the wrong disease for your symptoms.
Yeah, no, exactly. And you
And
know,
you're-
we should be wondering why the fuck it's an issue, not, oh, this is the thing that drove them to do it. No, but clearly, like, there's an I can't think of the word for something that's there's an imbalance in why people are, or what people are consuming media wise, and
A
what they feel.
discrepancy?
Discrepancy, thank you, sorry, that was really bad. There's a discrepancy in the amount of people who consume media that contains violence and the amount of people who act as if they were influenced by it in any way.
Yeah, also building off of the like misdiagnosis thing, here in the States we have this problem where the two parties have decided on two decisions and they are not willing to give ground on either one of them. It's one side is saying it's mental illness, the other side is saying it's gun control, and they're both trying to ape their objectives so horribly that you get things like studies where aggression in video games is linked to violence in video games, even though aggression is interchangeable with basically a hormone rush in sports, and we don't automatically label, I don't know, pick an athlete.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you explain that real quick? Because that just went over my head a little bit.
There have been studies that show that depending on the content of a game, it can increase aggression to varying extents. And violent video games were noted to have a significant impact on aggression. However, this aggression was basically an adrenaline rush. It would be like, I don't know, imagine you're in the last quarter of a football game and you're down by 5 points. You just need to get to the end. You don't need a field goal or anything like that. You just need to score.
Okay.
That level of endorphin rush, or not endorphins, but that sort of chemical high, basically. And
in other words, it's not necessarily violent aggression, it's just stimulation.
Yeah, they're treating...
Uh-oh, Chris. Uh-oh.
Not there.
For a second. Okay.
Those
so
damn video games killed me.
Yep. So in other words, they're... Now, were these studies that were done?
I do not have the links to them right now. I can...
No, but I'm saying, they were studies, though?
Yeah, they were studies.
And people who...
And these were done by arbitrary third parties. These weren't done by the, like, political groups. However, the political groups did try reinterpreting them to suit their own.
Okay. So, wait. Let me make sure I understand this, because I think I'm with you now. What you're saying is the people who did the study said it has nothing to do with violent aggression. It's just a stimulation from enjoying the media. But the people who are campaigning against games were like, see, this is what we meant. It's a shit show. They're all violent now.
Yep. Yeah. Right there.
Okay, that's...
Oh, I understand that.
Oh, God.
That's fun.
Absolutely terrible. And that's the other problem is that that's a really good point, that these are the people, like the rally groups that are lining up to debate are the ones who are twisting words, bending studies.
Yeah, they have modes to push.
Yeah, like they have agendas, and it's fine that if it makes your stomach turn that, oh my god, you're shooting another person even though they're virtual, that's fine. I'm not judging. Like, you don't have to play them, but like, artistic outlet has been a thing for years. Nobody cares that like a ton of classical art that is heralded as super influential to our culture is like filled with violence.
Yeah,
and that's fine too.
Like I was about to say, like, do you think people back in the day were like, "Oh man, Leonardo da Vinci just made this really violent piece of work. It's gonna make our kids all violent."
No, they didn't accuse him of violence. They accused him of sexual depravity for overusing the nude male form.
Was he the one? Was he the one who put himself in that? Was like paying for a church, I believe, where like it was like the Last Judgment, and like all demons were on Earth, and he paid himself in the painting as getting killed or something like that.
Oh God, who was that? I know it's like on the tip of my tongue.
It was not. Was it Leonardo or was Michelangelo?
No, it wasn't Da Vinci.
It was Michelangelo then.
Tay, put that fucking college knowledge to work, son.
Like, I remember learning that, but
yeah, it was just like it was his skin, like in a demon's hand. He's like, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been a few years since I played Assassin's Creed 2.
Oh, you guys keep talking. I'm gonna Google this nonsense.
But yeah, and that's just, I don't know. I feel like there's been all, and did we touch on literature the last time we talked about this?
Don't think so.
Dude, we teach. Wait, didn't I mention Romeo and Juliet?
Yeah, we talked about the confusion between the tragedy and the romance.
Yeah. Again, it's not necessarily a matter of, oh my god, we're pushing violence. It's expression. It's part of life. Like,
also,
whether we like it or not.
It was
we just oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
It was Michelangelo.
Okay.
Right.
And we simply put it in our art because it's how humans, express themselves, and actually keep from going a little nuts.
Yeah, it's like people wanting to retcon art in order to better reflect modern values. I mean, I guess a small example of this would be like Assassin's Creed Origins, where if you go into the tour or discovery mode, whatever they call it, they actually disclose some of the like idiosyncrasies. Like they depict boys and girls in schools on vases instead of just boys, even though that's how it would have been drawn in the period. And they said we want to change this for better like equality in the modern day. I forget how they phrased it.
Right, and like if you're making the game, that's fine. Like that's totally, it's your game. Like by all means.
And they disclosed the fact that it was a historical discrepancy. I think that's important too. Like they're not trying to pass that off as actual history. It's their
right,
story.
Absolutely, and that's totally fine. But like, you know, dude, I don't know. I'm a little too outraged to like not say like something that's been said a million times, but basically just I really do think we need more people who accurately represent the audience, and not just like the general audience. Oh, I play games, but like, look, a lot of people play these games. There's nothing to do with wanting to be violent. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Just be a parent. Be a supportive community individual. Don't abandon your kids.
You don't just be a parent. That the thing on this list that catches me is that they only have consumers for one side. It's industry for the game representation, but you have the congressional representatives, the industry for the politics, and you also have the general consumers, the parents for the television council.
Yeah.
You don't actually have a consumer representation for the pro position here. So we're just going to get the industry byline. It's going to come down to economics, if my guess is anything.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
like
you have the people who are in it.
Like Blizzard on the loot box regulation. It's like, you did skirt a loophole. We should be coming down on you hard, but we might
scoot a loophole. Sorry.
But we might be able to skirt some of the income from this, so we're not going to fight you too hard on it.
Like, yeah.
It's one of the reasons that I don't think the Rhode Island proposal to add a surcharge to violent video games is that outlandish. I think in its current form, it's not going to happen, but there's going to be an luxury tax of some sort.
It's just so ridiculous, dude.
I think that's kind of ridiculous.
And you know, like Chris said, there's an underrepresentation of people who are just like, hi, I play games. Can we like not do this?
Yeah, it's like, I think 2K was one of the companies saying that persistent purchases or like recurrent online services were the future of gaming. Like ZeniMax is most famous right now for Elder Scrolls Online. You don't really have people that are just like the stay-at-home, do-nothing types, like the people who are going to be the least objectionable, the least violent. You're going to have the people that are just playing the defensive for this.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and like you said, the main... It just look at the main people who are arguing it. It's politicians in the shoes of the, quote, consumer, and outraged parents. That's not helping anybody. I don't just mean that as in, like, oh, like, why isn't my agenda being pushed? No, I just mean, like, literally, it's just unfair to the side that's like, hey, like, I just play these games. It's really not that big a deal. I could talk to you about it if you want. But they're like, no, we're mad. It's like, okay.
I just can't...
over here if you want to talk.
9 minutes of snuff film to prove why this is bad.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't believe this is, like, a topic we're going over again. Like...
I know.
A time capsule from 20 years ago. Jack Thompson actually sent a letter to, I think it was Kotaku, last week, talking about how terrible this was going to go. Like, he said it was something to the effect of, like, drug kingpins being brought in by the feds to discuss the opioid crisis.
What?
What? That dude's on something else.
That's like that's literally propaganda at this point. Yeah.
I thought you would give up by
he's on
now.
Something.
Maybe he is that drug kingpin they're talking about.
No, that was what's his name? Leland Yee, that California guy who was campaigning against violent video games and got busted for gun running.
Oh my god.
The gun runners were great. Dude, gun runners are great for getting weapons in Fallout 4 though. I mean New Vegas.
I preferred their DLC in Fallout New Vegas.
But yeah, it's we're first of all, like Jack Thompson, like that's literal propaganda at this point. Like, hey, you guys are basically drug kingpins with how much shit you're peddling. Whoa. First of all.
Well, I mean, gaming is currently the biggest, most profitable entertainment industry on the planet.
And there are rehab centers for gaming.
And the World Health Organization, WHO, is trying to pass a reclassification to make a gaming disorder a literal mental disorder.
You get my point.
Precisely.
Guys. Anyway. No, but
I can't just hammer on Eric. I need to spread the love.
That's fair.
Thank
No,
you.
hold on. Someone take over for a second. My train of thought died.
So like going on the continuation of like those like mental disorders for gaming. Is it true that there was a story about people who played World of Warcraft and let their baby die? I heard that a long time ago, but like
Oh, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, it's probably a real thing that happened. I don't have much faith in
I don't
people.
remember if the kid died, but it was the Child Protective Services were brought in. Like, the parents were definitely penalized for neglect.
okay.
Thank God. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. One of the other things that makes me uncomfortable about this is that I know that like they're only technically picking on violent video games, and I get that, but they're kind of ignoring that there's like some kind of balance. In that, like, look, there's violence, there's but there's other things in these games that aren't all violence, and some of them are just violence. I get that, but again,
Like, imagine
the
saying
studies that we
movies are
brought up.
Imagine saying movies are corrupting the youth past the point of redemption, and they're the cause of the spree shooting. They're all super violent, gory, hideous, and it's like, well, did you talk to Disney? Because I'm pretty sure that's as family friendly as you can get. No, all movies. Well, did you talk to them? No, all games. But did you talk to Nintendo? No, all games.
Yeah, and like, and we're, what do you think about games like that new Rabbids and Mario crossover? I always forget the full name.
It was like
Battle or whatever.
It was like a XCOM type of game, right?
Yeah, you literally get weapons, and like, it plays out from what I've seen. It's more like just like a Nerf battle than like actual violence, but still. And on the topic of parenting, that's the other thing I wanted to say. People are worried about, what about my kids? What about my kids? It's like, okay, I know not every child is fortunate enough to have a guardian that will really look out for them, and I feel for that. That's unacceptable. However, instead of spending time, money, just effort fighting against companies, that's why we should be doing something for these unfortunate kids and really pushing for teachers to be more educated about this stuff, for social workers to be more educated about this stuff. Instead of just saying, how do you feel, blah, 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 that's all well and good, but you should be able to learn, is this kid undistinguished reality from fiction? Is he being influenced by violent media that would otherwise be a non-issue? Like, I think for as much as I say, like, yes, being a good parent is extremely important, I feel so hard for the kids who don't have that luxury, who were kind of dealt a shitty hand and nobody listens to them. And like, I'm sure you've heard the adages about the kid who, while all the kids are like, oh, I don't want to go to school, I want to go home and like hang out. Like, there are some kids who look forward to school because their teachers are the only ones who are fucking nice to them. And like, dude, I feel so hard for that. And we should be worried about whether or not these kids can distinguish from reality, because it's not normal. It's just not. To be influenced like that by a fictional property, and these kids don't have parents all the time that can sit them down and make sure that they know what they're watching, what they're consuming.
No, I agree with all that.
Going.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of the time, this happened a while ago. I think a kid fell off a boat because they wanted to see SpongeBob. And
yeah, dude, exactly.
And like, SpongeBob got in hot water for that, but like, what are you going to do? Like, stop all the shows about underwater?
Even if you think like SpongeBob, like, oh, there's some dirty jokes in it, like, he didn't do anything not wholesome. Like, he didn't like reenact a silly joke. He wanted to see SpongeBob. That's like trying to jump onto a blackboard because you want to see Chalk Zone.
Oh, good reference.
Thank you. Oh my god, I literally didn't plan that. The word Chalk Zone just popped into my head.
I dig it.
But or like, that's like
Or or climbing down a rabbit hole because you want to see Wonderland, or digging into your wardrobe because you want to see Narnia.
Like, this is basic shit that a kid should know not to imitate, or not even imitate. There was nothing for him to imitate. He just did a silly thing that, unfortunately, he was, not really able to control or understand. But I just don't know. Like, it just makes no sense to me how you could blame a show after that. Clearly, there's legions of children. SpongeBob was way too popular that you can't even deny how many children fucking watched that show. And nobody tried to drown themselves to see SpongeBob.
Yeah, I mean, the show is only just now ending. I mean, how long has it been on the air? 20 years?
Yeah, something like that. And keep in mind, I am not blaming the child here. Like, I mean, the child was clearly lacking in some kind of, mental quality that, allowed him to reason against this.
Ignorance. The kid was ignorant. There's no fault in that as long as you're not putting yourself in these kind of perilous situations.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think you should be blaming the people at the studio who have no control over what a child who may be ignorant in a fashion like this. You have no control over what they're going to do, and you can't predict that you can actually kind of predict that no matter what you do, there's going to be people out there like that, but that's not the studio's responsibility. There should have been somebody in this poor kid's life that was like, what do we do for this kid? There's something up. Because there's rarely not a warning sign.
The fact that you don't take the first accused party and crucify them on the spot. You need to examine the issue.
Yeah. Yeah, it was convenient to say, well, they're the ones who made it. And it's ironic because this whole situation, this whole SpongeBob thing is a perfect example because it has nothing to do with violence, and yet it's the same story. The same exact thing.
I feel like we might have some like primal part of our brain that like this would like the idea of like this imagination was great for us, but like in our modern time it kind of is a little dangerous with all like I feel like
I think it's so cool that we found a way that like okay, Taylor and I have been playing through the Resident Evil games, and that's pretty fucking violent. But I think it's really cool that we can take the comfort of our own home, and we play a game that would be like a horrifying real life scenario, but we understand the barrier, so we get like a little bit of a thrill, we get a little bit of our endorphin rush in a totally normal, healthy way, and we get to solve puzzles, give our brains a little bit of a workout. As a child, personally, I know I got a lot of reading practice, and like you have to look at the good and minimize the bad. I was I went on my whole spiel about being taught about violence, but it taught me logic, puzzle solving, hand-eye coordination, and I've heard people talk about this in regards to esports, where they're like, oh, those are qualities that like don't really have any bearing on everyday life, but they do. I can't tell you how many things would have broken if I didn't catch them so quick.
Yeah, right down to the simplicity of just objects in your line of sight.
Yeah.
The average game player or action game player is able to track 50% more moving objects at a time than a non-game player.
Exactly.
Really?
I think it's like 6-4. I could be wrong on that.
Oh, cool.
I heard about that study a while ago, so I don't remember exactly, but Chris pretty much hit the nail on the head. And I got a lot of reading practice and was learning words way outside of my wheelhouse. And it was all in a way that it didn't feel like boring. And even as an adult, like I said, this is a really cool way for people to stimulate themselves without it being like, without it being dangerous, without it being anything that you have to look at and go, oh, this could potentially get really bad. Because most people know the separation between reality and fiction, and that's what this boils down to.
Like
the last time we discussed this, you said it yourself that we're in a particularly overly sensitive period of time. It's like people are not willing to accept that media can exist for entertainment, but there's also this overarching thing nowadays where people act like everything has to have a message, or it's the direct conveyance of the point of view of the author. I'm just saying one of my favorite franchises, for example, Warhammer 40k. That is an absolutely horrific, far-flung future post-apocalypse. Mm-hmm. Like, we're talking about galactic-scale genocide, totalitarian oppression, and theocratic, just horrors. Like, we're talking like literal abominations from another realm that are invading us, demons from the warp, and we're fighting wars against all manner of aliens. Humanity's just barely staking out in existence. Child soldiers are the norm for the prime space marines, and they're acting like you could not have this kind of fiction exist without it being an endorsement of patriarchal white cis male bullshit, or whatever the
or anything, or even just saying like it's an enabler of violence, and it's pro genocide because, oh look, you play as a a race that practices that. Like, I don't know.
It's like, I'm not going to consume Warhammer 40k and then declare exterminatus on the first person I see that doesn't look like me, or the first person that doesn't worship the way I do. That's not how it works.
So, I would like to say this conversation is getting pretty heavy. Would you guys want to move on to the next topic?
I mean, I think we've pretty much said all that needs to be said on the update. That it's basically
also watch the unlisted YouTube video.
Oh God, or don't. No, but yeah, basically, wrapping it up. There's
my connection is dying. Am I missing anything?
No.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just wrapping it up. That there's a misrepresentation in who's attending the meetings, who's talking, and whatever. And I'm not looking forward to this. Maybe we'll do another update if anything crazy happens, but I think it's been beaten to death.
Yep. Let's hope we don't have to worry about it.
Yep. All right, moving on. Someone introduce the next topic.
So our next topic is the PS4 update.
Oh God.
Your favorite.
Oh God.
Since you're the one who brought this to us, would you like to give us a little summary?
Sorry, I was getting some coffee for this. So there's been a giant Sony update,
which is usually nice. However,
amidst all the other cool stuff, some people I know have confirmed, and I don't have any articles yet, but there are people I know inside the fighting game community and stuff. I'm hearing word that they reintroduced the 8-minute timeout for controllers, which basically means if a controller is inactive for 8 minutes, it has nothing to do with power consumption. It re-authenticates its connection to the PlayStation 4.
Was this a issue at a different point in time?
Yes, they apparently had patched it out, and now they are patching it back in.
So you and I did experience that first.
Oh yeah, it was terrible. Absolutely. Basically, what it means is if it's a first-party or official third-party controller for the PS4, you're fine. It re-authenticates automatically. But if you have an unofficial controller, it needs a workaround that's a real pain in the ass to implement for some people. Some board manufacturers are better at it than others, just like anything else. But the biggest issue here that makes me pissed about it is fighting games. Because third-party controllers, no one makes... there's two official... I mean, okay, someone's gonna, correct me on this, and that's fine. But there isn't a wide range of official, quote-unquote, PS4 fight sticks, because the way that the community often works is you make your own. You get a fight stick and you swap the board in it for more console compatibility. You swap the buttons, this and that. The buttons and stuff, not a big deal because it's wiring to the same board, which is what's authenticating. But basically, there's a lot of custom fight sticks that use boards that are really high quality, no cheating mechanisms or anything, nothing shady. But they just don't work right on PS4 because they time out after 8 minutes, and you always have to do this weird thing where you pair them with an official DualShock controller to make sure it doesn't time out, or there has to be a patch to the board firmware, and it's just the reason that this is so bad is because EVO, the biggest tournament in the world for fighting games, is run on PS4s. People, if you compete in any official sector in fighting games, you're going to be playing on a PS4. And it limits your options for building your own stick. It has nothing to do with cheating, because there's plenty of third-party stuff that's totally, used by the community and verified by the community to not be cheating. You can't use, I have a Cronus, which is one of the USB devices that bypasses console requirements and lets you use a USB controller, so you could use like an Xbox One controller on a PS4, for example. Great for just casually playing fighting games with my friends, but there's macro functions on it and stuff that make it tournament illegal, which is fine. But if you're using a totally normal board that doesn't have any cheating functions, it's just got like multi-console support or something, it saves you some money in the long run, because you can just build one awesome fight stick and, you know, just whatever USB port you plug it into, it's got multi-console capabilities. But now they're going to have to patch that or worry about if it's ever going to work again if the company doesn't feel like patching it, since they're reintroducing this time.
I think that while obviously the whole thing sucks and it's stupid that it has to happen at all, I don't think there's realistically going to be any situations in like Evo, for example, where that will actually end up being a problem, because players bring their own controllers and they're not, you know, like how often would they be like unattended, like, you know, not being used for that long of an amount of time, you know what I mean?
No, it's not unattended, it's literally after 8 minutes of use.
Oh, I thought it was...
No, that's why I said it has nothing to do with power consumption. Yeah, I'm sorry, I should have clarified.
Okay, so it's not inactivity.
That's
it's
a
literally
big difference.
After
Yeah.
8 minutes, the PS4 pings the controller for authentication, and only official controllers are built, you know, whether they're official third party or first party, only official controllers don't need a workaround for that. And I don't, it's probably something, this is just speculation, but probably something that has to do with how Sony like approves the building process and gives you some sort of part that nobody else has that automatically authenticates it or something like that.
Feels
it could be any number of things.
That feels so greedy.
I don't imagine this is going to be a problem for Evo, though. I mean, if Sony values their Capcom connections at all with Street Fighter V, they're going to find a workaround for this.
No, you know what the workaround is? I'm pretty sure. If you play in tournaments, you buy a PS4 stick. That's like literally, I think, it.
Yeah, I mean, that might work inside Japan with the Sony Capcom stuff, but once you go stateside, I think you're going to be fighting a losing PR war.
I would actually be interested in doing some research on how the actual Evo pros
feel about
that. Yeah, because as far as I know, they all seem to have pads and sticks that, I don't know, it's not an issue for them. Like, I'm not like super, like, I follow every single match, but I watch a lot of fighting game tournaments, and I never ever see it being a problem outside of like a local scene. When I go to like a random tournament night and someone's like, uh-oh, my controller disconnected again, sorry guys, it's happened to me. Because like, I don't, this is the thing, it sucks because I don't play on PS4, and I get that like it's one thing to be like, oh well, you know, if you plan to enter tournaments, you have to worry about this and this and that, but like it's a fight stick. Like, it's bad enough that I have to spec this thing out and like make it comfortable for me because it's such a specific type of controller. Now I have to worry about if the board I picked that says it's PS4 compatible is, you know, is it official enough? Like, this wasn't a thing until like recently. You know, if you got an N64 controller, a PS3 or a PS1 controller, or an NES controller that was off-brand, whatever, it had the board and the connector that that made sure, you know, it was recognized by the console. That's it. It worked. And now we have to deal with software lockouts.
When did they first disable this?
Like, when did they patch it out before patching it back in?
Yeah.
It's
No
a great
idea.
question. I thank you for it, but I don't have an answer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Like,
look
is
forward to
this
more articles
like
on this,
is this a
considering
old
5.50
problem?
just
Wait, Chris, what were you saying?
I'm looking forward to the articles on this because I wasn't able to find anything, and update 5.50 just came out last night or this morning.
If I had to guess, I'm pretty sure it's the biggest deal for people in the fighting game community, because think about it. How many people do you know that really buy off-brand controllers? Everybody just buys DualShock 4s.
Very
But,
true.
you know, when you're looking at the fighting game community, it's a huge deal to have a stick that's really comfortable for you. So, I don't know. What were you gonna say, Eric?
So, like, was this a big problem back in the day when they first had it? Or...
That's when I had problems with it, actually. Because that's when I was trying to play more local tournaments and stuff. Like, you know, just stuff that was at local arcades for fun. But, like, it was a pain in the ass for me to be like, oh, I'm bringing my stick. Oh, I don't know if it's going to work.
Oh,
And then,
yeah, okay.
I had to do the authentication thing. And, like, I read how to do it. But, you know, and I'm good with this stuff. But, like, I read how to do it and I tried it and it didn't work quite like it said it would in the article, and maybe that was me misreading it, or I don't, you know, you never know if they introduce patches. You have to be so careful, and like it was just a pain in the ass because let me just buy a board for my fucking controller and install it, and it's either compatible or it's not.
Do you think this is a greed issue, or do you think this is like a technical issue for a reason?
Well, Tay, what were you gonna say? Because I have something to say after that.
Completely unrelated.
Oh, cool.
Fortnite is coming to mobile with cross-platform.
I hate
Mobile?
everything.
Like what?
I'm quitting video games.
Yeah, well, as long as it's the Battle Royale version, not the actual game, I guess that's...
They both suck.
No, let's see.
I played Fortnite before I went to Battle Royale, but I've actually played
That's
since it
even
went.
worse.
At least Fortnite knows asking prices.
What?
Okay,
What?
Mr. Robot.
God damn it.
Has
Let me
he...
try to fix this.
Are you like one of those cyborgs in Fallout 4 who got taken by the Institute? Okay.
I guess I'm gonna take a silence as a resounding yes.
What's happening?
Oh, straight up, he's been taken by the cyborgs. We have angered Skynet, who I'm now playing.
We should move on to the next topic because we're coming up on an hour, I think.
Oh, really fast, I just want to get hear Chris's response on that last thing.
Oh,
Oh yeah, then we.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say before we move on, I think that the interesting thing to note about this is, Mad Catz I don't know what's going on with them. I know they're in a weird sort of limbo, but like, as far as I know, wait, let me do a quick Google search before I make an ass of myself. I mean, you know, as usual. PS4 fight stick. As far as I know, the Mad Catz Street Fighter one is like pretty much the only like definitely official PS4 fight stick. And you know, Mad Catz is in a weird spot right now anyway, but it's just it's a sector that's known for being like very not underground but very DIY. You know, people swap boards all the time, people swap parts all the time. Sony never really made official stuff. It looks like this Quanba one is listed as being an officially licensed Sony product, but you know, Quanba sticks have always been just like you go to trade shows or you order from their website. You don't really buy them like it's, oh, I'm looking for an official Sony product.
Yeah, they're
So-
still as hands off on that as they are with the like. I think it was the PS4 Pro controller that was also done by Hori. Same people that do fight sticks.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a couple brands that do this, but they're already brands that are kind of known for being underground DIY. So I don't know who they're trying to stop because they're already partnered with the people that are mainly responsible for
That's
what,
strange.
you know. And it's such a niche market anyway that I don't see what they have personally. I don't see what they have to gain from being like, oh, you can't use this custom board because it's all like you can still buy like Quanba shells and just mod them. You can still buy like Hori sticks and mod them. Like you're not cornering any huge market here. And I don't know, it never made sense to me. And beyond that, there's the whole thing with I think it was the Skullgirls devs who were very awesome. They put together a legacy driver to let PS3 sticks work with their game. And they offered it to Capcom, and if I remember correctly, someone can fact check me on this, I'm pretty sure Capcom was like, no thanks. But then like SNK ended up using it on King of Fighters, and then like Street Fighter bit and was like, okay, we'll do it too. And like fight sticks are such a niche thing. Like this is mainly the people they're hurting, and it's for like a shitty reason. I don't know. It's just weird.
Also,
And
they're on the more expensive side for peripherals as far as specialty controllers go.
well, and that's the whole big deal with maintaining compatibility, because a fight stick isn't a thing you buy and then like it's kind of hard to explain, but like you know what I mean? You don't buy it and then, oh, the PS4 is out, time to ditch my PS3 stick. Like, no, you're gonna put new buttons in it, maybe a new board, maybe throw some new art on it. You're going to buy it and keep upgrading it as time goes on, especially now with USB being a technology. I don't need a new plug.
Yeah, even for the casual fighting fans, it's like I bought a board straight out of the box, and that was still like the price of 2 PS4 controllers.
Yeah, what kind of board did you buy?
It's a Hori Pro, I think, version 4.
I
Nice.
actually have a Hori Tekken 6 board in my room.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So, this is the kind of thing that, especially when they have like removable, I mean, you can do all sorts of stuff. I've taken friends' fight sticks, and me and Taylor have turned them into, instead of hardwired, and like our friend Barry, his cable got all chewed up, and it was hardwired. So we got him a new board, and we dremeled out a hole, and we put the female end of the port on the outside, covered by a door that was already there. So instead of having to worry about, oh, what happens if my wire breaks, you could buy a $5 USB cable on Amazon and plug it into the female port that's inside the console door, and then take it out and wrap it up when he's not using it. Like,
Taylor,
that's the
were you
kind
there
of...
while he exposed the female end.
Wait, I'm
Ignoring
sorry,
you.
what?
No, don't acknowledge him. But that's the kind of long-term stuff you do for something like a fight stick. You don't just ditch it and buy a new one. So I don't know. We'll see where this goes, but there's already companies working on fixes. It's not going to be a big deal for very long.
Cool. Okay. So next topic, Taylor, would you like to bring it up?
Yeah, I'll start, but I don't. There's too much. I can't talk about all this by myself.
Oh, yeah,
Well, of course.
Yeah.
The Nintendo Direct today had a lot of stuff. Did all you guys-
Shout outs to Brooks and Chris,
Why?
because Brooks was all excited and Chris was like, it's just ports, and he's like, no man, there's gonna be a lot of cool new games. And
Yeah, it's both.
no, it was just funny to me. Like, it was just
Wait.
a funny little debate between friends.
Did they release information about a new Smash, or is that a ported Smash?
It's a port as far as I know, but it didn't like.
Wait, what?
They didn't specify the iteration. And here's the interesting thing.
Yes.
It's not just the characters. Did you notice how the Link they portrayed was also Breath of the Wild, which was not available in
Yeah.
the as far as I know?
Wait, what?
Huh.
Say again?
So
There's currently the speculation as to whether this is a port of a Wii U version or if it's a whole new Smash.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
when they showed the logo in the short trailer, it had no subtitles, just Super Smash Brothers. So I don't know.
I'm getting so close to actually buying a Switch. Yeah.
I'm sure you could go frame by frame through the trailer because you could see a bunch of silhouettes in front of the logo.
Yeah, there were silhouettes, and the only extra detail other than it's Smash, some form of Smash for the Switch, is that it has the Inklings.
Yeah, I'm with you on this, Eric. I'm like either Bayonetta or Metroid Prime 4. After that, I'm buying it.
Yeah, dude, Metroid Prime 4 is going to be the one that breaks me. And maybe the new Pokemon.
I really like I really like my Switch. Portability wasn't a huge sell for me personally, but I come to appreciate it more and more. Especially, I got a nicer stand for it, like a little tablet stand that was marketed partially for Switch owners. That helped a lot because I can actually like prop it up and change the angle a little more to fit where I'm sitting. It's cool that it has the tablet mode, and it's not so much. I think what sells me on the portability is that it doesn't have to be a handheld. You know, I've found that that's my favorite way to play it, is just prop it up on a small table or something in front of me and have a controller. So it's like a portable console instead of a handheld. But there are I'm sick of all the ports for it, but at the same time, I at least give them a pass because they work hard. Whether it's first party or third party, the devs always try and make them really good ports from what I've personally seen so far.
Yeah, the only port that I'm like about is Dark Souls, because it's Dark Souls. No, it's just like everybody loves it, and I don't know. I don't see why it needs to be on the Switch.
I think it's just they're remastering the first game because it has been a little while, I guess, since it came out, and it was the first transition after Demon Souls. So I personally think it's just they feel it's time to like kind of give it a new coat of paint and reintroduce it.
Did you see the amiibo?
There's a Dark Souls amiibo.
A Solaire amiibo. He's praising.
Wow.
Oh god,
that's funny.
I don't like amiibo, but that's,
I might like that.
I might like it
guys,
too.
so you know how Chris is really into buying, like, what game would you buy like 8 times because you really like the game?
I think that was Dragon's Dogma.
Okay, so my version of that is Okami. I have it.
Oh my god.
I have the PS2 version, the original version. I think I have the remaster on the PS2. Maybe the PS3 version. I have the remaster on the PC now, and I'm very close. And now, as soon as I saw it coming for the Switch, I was like, "Oh my lord!"
Yeah, let me like go down the list of things.
Wait, Chris, what were you gonna say? Okay.
I'm hoping we get a Ami Switch, Ami Amiibo, because I'm buying that instantaneously.
Yeah. So there's a new Kirby game.
Oh, new? Okay,
Yes.
good.
Star Allies comes out on the 16th, actually, so pretty soon.
I bet
Okay.
it'll suck.
Ignoring.
There's
Go on.
Nice
the
full
Dark Souls
confidence.
Remaster and the Amiibo both come out on May 25th.
What, Dark Souls?
Yes.
Okay.
And there's a release date for the new Mario Tennis.
When?
20 seconds?
You should have looked at the thing.
I was buying cereal for myself, but also ice cream for my mother.
That is a good reason not to go. Not to do that.
Yeah.
I
Anyway.
also bought cereal today.
Wait. This is important. What kind?
It's a granola kind.
Okay, I can dig it. Granola's good. Anyway,
I fought a tree to get my car back.
wait, is your car okay?
It's in one piece, thankfully.
Oh, is it
That doesn't
dented?
say much, though. Is it dead?
It works. It's gonna take a bit of body.
That's fine. Okay. Whew.
Right.
Yeah, Chris got pretty fucked up by the storm.
Yeah, the weather decided to use a plum tree as a weapon against my house and car.
I've been there, my friend. I was significantly younger, but I've been there.
Dude, at my grandma's house, a tree knocked over and crashed into 2 cars.
Dude, in like the span of a few years, I almost died twice as a kid from a tree, but it was funny because both I ended up totally fine. One time was during a really bad, it was like a pseudo hurricane. A tree in my old house. We lived on the top of a 2-family, and I was on our first floor. So it was like the middle of vertically the middle of the 2-family house, and I was looking out the window at the rain, and I walked away to go talk to my mom, and a tree crashed through the window I was looking out of.
That's kind of funny.
I was like, and as a kid even I realized, I was like, oh, I was just standing there. Whoops. But I was like somehow calm.
Damn,
I
Mother
think you got me
Nature.
beat, but I got one other tree story, and it wasn't a natural disaster or anything. Just my friends deciding to mess with me.
Okay.
We were on a trampoline, and they decided it would be fun to try and double bounce me to get me out of the trampoline. In the process, they got me stuck in a tree.
What did you get, in between 2 branches and you just didn't slide out?
No, it's like it was holding me up by my pants. Like one branch wedging me. The foliage bullied me.
The tree called you a nerd. Oh my god.
And then take your lunch money.
Thankfully, the
and
puddle
then
was too far away for it to give me a swirly.
Oh
But I
my
made it my way
god.
down eventually.
That could have totally happened to me at a friend's house. Now that I think of that layout between the pool and the tree and the trampoline. No, and then the other time, my mom and I had gone to the store together or something. I also little kid. And we went inside, And like right after we got in and put the groceries down, we heard a noise. And we look outside, and the tree we had parked under had fallen and crushed the top of the car in.
Wow.
Like,
You win. No contest.
yeah, I was just I was looking at my mom like years ago when I was like a teenager. We were talking about. We were just like, yeah, we had horrible luck with trees, and we could have died like on 2 separate occasions.
That's
What
fun.
did you do to piss off the Ents?
I don't know. I'm a friend of the trees.
Did you speak slowly for Treebeard?
All right. Anyway,
Taylor's like, enough of this nonsense.
She's wishing the tree killed me right about now.
so Mario Tennis, yeah.
Yeah,
June
what day?
22nd.
Okay.
There's gonna be a pre-launch tournament. I don't know. I'm guessing it's probably gonna be held at like Nintendo World or something.
Yo, do you want to go stomp everybody with me?
If when the details are available, I'm down to go.
Hell yeah.
Nintendo World
And
and
then-
Universal?
No, New York.
Oh, okay.
Times Square, yeah.
The Crash Bandicoot trilogy is
Oh,
good. They have a release date for Switch, which
yes.
is
Oh, boy.
July 10th.
I heard it wasn't going to be cross-platform anymore. This is going to be
Yeah.
interesting. There's going to
And
be a
then-
similar timing exclusive for Spyro as well.
Yeah. There's a new Square Enix RPG for the Switch.
What? What's it
Uh,
called?
It's quote unquote Project Octopath Traveler because they still are calling it a working title.
That's the name.
Okay. Well, so far there's no hint then I guess that it's going to be a Bravely game.
Does that
Yeah,
anything to do
no.
with Octodad the Daddliest Catch?
One of my favorite games in the past decade. It
Then,
was short but very sweet.
Undertale. No other details, but it's gonna be.
It's
out.
Undertale again.
Yeah.
What is No More Heroes? Why do I know that game?
Ooh, that
that
was a very, very
Wii. It was
cult
like,
famous Wii game.
it's imagine
I
like
believe that's
the guy was a
Yes,
Suda
I think it's
51.
Suda.
The guy had like a bootleg lightsaber.
Okay,
And it was known for being very like not edgy. Yeah, edgy. Like it was adult themed, but not
okay.
like super adult.
There's gonna be a new one for the Switch. I couldn't find anything about a release date, but
The most I've
Okay.
seen of it so far is one piece of art and the teaser trailer. So there's really
Does the
not
art
much
look
going
good?
yeah.
Looks about the same as the first. So or
Right.
the last
So-
two. There have been multiples.
Yeah.
The quote unquote definitive edition of Hyrule Warriors. I'm guessing it just means DLC included.
See, okay, I want to take a second and say that I'm okay with a lot of the ports from the Wii U, only because as much as I've gone on my tangents on blah blah blah, make original games, but like the Wii U had a decent amount of really good games that nobody fucking bought because nobody bought a Wii U. So they're re-releasing them. They have extra content. It's like they're good games that nobody fucking played. I'm totally going for that.
I'm disappointed. The last console I bought was a Wii U.
Really?
Yeah, and that's when
I'm
I
sitting in my room with my Wii U right now, and may have a bit of dust on it.
I liked the Wii U. I
I
mean,
liked
it didn't
it.
have it didn't have
currently
enough
has
software.
my favorite game of all time on it. I can't hate it.
What game?
Wait.
Bayonetta 2.
Yeah, I figured it was going to be Bayonetta. Anyway, go on, Taylor.
For the 3DS, the two biggest things are Detective Pikachu has a release date.
Oh,
No
yes.
Danny DeVito, no buy.
March 23rd, and you can pre-order it now, and there's going to be an amiibo, and it's adorable.
Yeah, I saw the amiibo. Isn't it going to be big too?
I think
Is it big
bigger
amiibo?
than like the normal size ones.
big old baby.
And a new WarioWare.
Like they're amiibo.
Oh.
Sorry to interrupt you, Chris.
Whenever we do these like rather than podcast game streams, that has to be one of them.
Yes.
So
Mike and I should
yeah,
use
it's
to dive
August
into that.
3rd, and it has over 300 games, which makes it the biggest WarioWare
Oh
game.
my god. Okay.
And not for nothing, I look. They owe us after Game and Wario. Game and Wario was not that good.
Yeah.
Nor was it a WarioWare game, so I'll cut them slack. But it just wasn't that good of a game in general.
Yeah. And then it's called WarioWare Gold, by the way.
And I'm double excited because yes, they're doing the whole motion gimmick with the Joy-Cons, but this might be more down to earth like the original
It's
one
3DS.
was. Oh wait, that's right. Fuck. I forgot we switched over to that. I'm okay with that because maybe they'll give the touchscreen a little bit of a break, but it'll be better than it'll be way better than motion gimmicks either way.
Oh, and then Luigi's Mansion port.
Also sucks.
Really?
I'm being figuratively and literal. Just
God damn it.
Oh, damn.
Get out of here.
what did you think I was trying to say about Kirby? Do you think I'm insulting the pink fluff ball?
It's Marshmallow Ball.
Well, hey, to be fair, we know somebody who's very, very anti-Kirby. Gives them fever dreams.
Wait,
Who?
I said Luigi's Mansion. What are you talking about Kirby for?
Yeah, why?
Well,
where
Because
did
I
this
said
is the-
both of them suck.
Yeah, he said he made a suck joke on both.
Oh. Never mind then.
Keep up, Taylor. Know thy enemy.
Oh, and then there's some tower defense game that doesn't seem too interesting.
Oh, I don't know. You don't have to do. I mean this in a good way. You don't have to do too much to make a tower defense game fun.
I'm not gonna lie, I do like tower defense games.
They've grown on me. I'm more strategy minded as an adult, so I can appreciate them more now.
Yeah. And then the last thing is a new Mario and Luigi game.
Of course.
I need to play those.
Yeah,
I
it's
swear Bowser's Inside Story was a DS game. Or a Game Boy Advance.
Inside Story was DS. It actually came with my my special edition 3DS XL.
it didn't say it was like a remaster or like a port, so
It's probably a new one.
yeah, and that's 2019. But
Oh, yeah, it's probably a new one.
yeah,
If
As
they're
long as
taking
it
their
doesn't go
time
the way
on
of
it.
the Paper Mario games, I'm good.
Yeah, I still want to play them. I'm sure they're going to be okay, but I've heard they're underwhelming. And Paper Mario is one of my favorite RPGs of all time, and I only started Thousand Year Door.
If you want to give it a try, I'd say go for the 3DS one before you touch the Wii U. Just because there's some particular balancing choices you might find interesting.
Wait, you mean go for Sticker Star before Super Paper Mario?
Super Paper Mario is the Wii. I'm talking about Color Splash.
I forgot about Color Splash. I'm probably going to play them in order, but I appreciate the heads up. I'll keep an
I
eye
would
out.
say like Thousand Year Door is probably my favorite, but the Super Paper Mario and the original are about the same footing.
Okay. Yeah, no, Paper Mario is one of my favorite RPGs of all time, and Thousand Year Door is very good so far. Years ago, I started it, got distracted, you know my MO by now, but I really liked the first couple hours of it, and it was gearing up to be another equal quality game. So, wow, this is a good Nintendo Direct. Like,
Yeah.
that's actually a pretty all-star lineup. We're getting a new WarioWare.
I mean, I could use a Bayonetta release date.
Dude, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I'm having a little fever dream. I'm having fever dreams waiting for the new Metroid game to come out. So the sooner that comes out, the better.
too.
Did you already tell us how you felt about the Metroid 2 remake? Did you
Metroid
like
2
it?
Metroid 2 remake.
Yeah,
3DS
Samus
came out
Returns,
last year.
3DS.
I haven't played it.
God damn it, Eric! if you're gonna attempt to sound like our resident Metroid freak, you have to play them. No, but in all seriousness, if you play it, let me know what you think.
Okay.
I have a
'Cause
signed Stuart Sager Samus Aran running from Metroids in my room. How are I? You're supposed to be the Metroid expert.
Listen, I'm excited for Prime. I played all the Primes.
Fair enough. Our friend Pete, who's probably gonna join us at some point for one of these episodes, he's very, very big on Metroid, and he plays through Super Metroid every once in a while just to stay not rusty.
Dude, Super Metroid was such a fun game.
I've only watched him play it because, again, I got into Metroidvanias with Castlevania.
Dude,
So
oh.
I have to go back and play Metroid, but I very much enjoy what I've seen and personally played of it.
Symphony of the Night? Oh.
Remind me to send you a zip
yeah.
file later because I think I have M2R2.
I think I do as well, but thank you for also having it in case I lost mine. After we finish broadcasting, I'll see.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so he told me a lot about it without spoiling any huge things about it, with like changes and stuff like that they made that were some were for the better, some weren't. I don't know, it's weird. They did some interesting things for the remake, so I'd be interested to hear Eric's take on it. Did you play it, Chris?
I haven't gotten it yet. No.
Okay, so I'm interested to hear what both of you
Wait,
say.
when did this come out?
Last year.
Oh, that'll explain why. I've been like selling to the PC. Okay, hold on. What is it? Metroid 2 Remake?
Yeah, what was it officially
Samus
called?
Returns?
It was still called Samus Returns,
It was
right?
either
Yeah.
Samus Returns or Return of Samus. I can't remember which was the original and which is the remake.
That's basically, Eric, what they did was one of them was called like Chris said, they switched the words, like they flipped the title for the remake.
I think it's
But
Samus.
the original one was Game Boy.
I think it's Samus Returns.
Okay. Yeah, the original one was a Game Boy game.
Ugh.
I'm gonna have to go get that.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
we're
coffee.
ending on a high note.
Yeah.
That's a nice rarity.
Yeah, right?
Alright, so guys, it's been fun. It's been a fun podcast so far. So
Especially with this smooth jazz courtesy of Ben Sound.
oh, yeah, thanks, Ben. I think that's about it. So let's say our goodbyes.
Bye.
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 So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.
In the stream.
Already done streaming.